From prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to Creature Guide Live Daily News. From Sci News, fossil of giant Triassic amphibian unearthed in Brazil. A new genus and species of temnospondyl amphibian has been described by a team of paleontologists. And remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know. Now let's dive into the animal news of the day. So this is quite interesting. An artist's impression of Quatusuchus rosei. This is a very unique species of temnospondyl. These amphibians first evolved during the early Carboniferous period, around 350 million years ago. So this was right after the Devonian mass extinction, and they would cling on until about 120 million years ago, at the beginning of the early Cretaceous period, and they are closely related to today's giant Japanese and Chinese salamanders. And it is a bit of a debate as to whether or not those two salamanders are derived from the temnospondyls. The newly identified temnospondyl species roamed our planet during the early Triassic epoch, some 249 million years ago. Named Quatusuchus rosei, the ancient animal was approximately 1.5 meters or 4.9 feet in length. Really? That's it? They seem massive in the picture. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite species of temnospondyl, or if you think that these animals might have specifically fed on different species of fish. They might have preyed on different species of amphibians or reptiles during the beginning of the Triassic period. It belonged to Benthosuchidae, a small group of giant crocodile like amphibians that lived during the Triassic. These creatures were primarily aquatic. Living in rivers and lakes, they were up to 2.5 meters or 8.2 feet in length and have no direct living relatives. Technically, I believe like the Chinese giant salamander today is somewhere around 5 feet in length and can reach over 120 pounds. So, looking at the wide range of temnospondyls that existed, this is Prionosuchus, which existed during the let's see, Permian, I believe, somewhere around or a similar time as Quatusuchus. Now, this individual reached somewhere around um, 20 feet in length or over 5 meters, and could probably weigh somewhere around 2,500 pounds. And I'm going to correct my time. This technically would be somewhere around the mid Triassic. So we're talking somewhere around 220 to 230 million years ago. So it was probably feeding on different species of small dinosaurs in the region. And despite its crocodile like look, or some might say when you're looking at different marine reptiles, especially from the Jurassic, that it might look like a metrorhynchid, or some might call a sea crocodile, but it is not even closely related to reptiles. It's an amphibian. It's a bit of a question as like different oxalotls, it would have had this type of characteristic, and but it is very possible that it had webbed feet. These are both very good illustrations. This was much earlier in time. This is a species of temnospondyl known as Eriops. Eriops existed in different parts of Texas and New Mexico around 290 million years ago during the beginning of the Permian period. It coexisted with animals such as Dimetrodon, which would have possibly hunted this individual, but much smaller Eriops individuals. Dimetrodon was not an amphibian, and it's not a reptile or a dinosaur. So it also existed in Texas as well as parts of Canada, especially Nova Scotia, where it's been discovered, and Germany around the same time. And there have been over 20 different species of Dimetrodon that have been discovered. How? Oh, so he's a synapsid, which means he's a proto mammal. And this individual was a very close relative and early cousin of true mammals, but they wouldn't pop up until the mid Triassic, a little over 230 million years ago. But Dimetrodon was probably feeding on a wide variety of different species of amphibians where it existed, simply due to the fact that we have evidence of Dimetrodon hunting different types of boomerang head shaped amphibians in the region where it existed. However, Eriops, so Dimetrodon could reach somewhere around 500 pounds or a little over 240 kilograms. Ariops was close to that size. You could have Ariops individuals that would reach over 450 pounds or a little over 220 kilograms. And these animals are probably feeding on a wide range of different species of fish, smaller amphibian species, as well as even young synapsid species in the region, or even certain diapsids. This is very possible. This is an occurrence that would have happened during the breeding season. At least I'm guessing this could be a territorial situation. And so here's the skeleton of the individual. And these are very distantly related to today's giant salamanders, unlike later temnospondylus that would appear in the early Cretaceous period. So Quattusuchus rosi can be confidently assigned to the Benthosuchidae, a stereospondyle clade. So the stereospondyls are a clade of the temnospondyls. The temnospondyle is actually a very broad group of, or I guess you could say, collection of amphibians. But they're not the only group of amphibians that would have existed even during this time. There are also the lemnospondyls. There's a wide range of different major collections of amphibian that existed even during the Permian. So let's see. With the distribution previously restricted to the East European platform, phylogenetic analysis confirms the relationship of the new genus to the Tremontosaurian lineage, being closely related to the genus Benthosuchus. Wow, that's a very intact upper jawbone of Quattusuchus. I mean, we have the teeth here. I believe these are they? Hmm. That just seems very close to the snout. It has wide nostrils, though. Let me know in the comments what you think this could possibly be. Um, if you have a favorite species of amphibian today or back then. The fossilized skull of Quattusuchus rosi was found in August 2022 in the Senga del Cabral Formation, a sedimentary rock formation found in Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil. Quattusuchus rosi was a survivor. S- Uh, its name Reba. Okay, so it lived in an environment devastated by the greatest mass extinction in the history of the planet. So, well, I think you could say it had already slightly it would have already recovered to a major extent. It's been over at least 1 to 2 million years since the massive Permian extinction event. So this is at the beginning of the Triassic period. And no, the dinosaurs, many marine reptiles have not evolved yet, or true mammals. So let's see. Since they were animals adapted to conditions of high environmental stress, temnospondyl amphibians became abundant throughout the world. They help us understand how extinctions affected the planet and how we can understand their effects today. How would you compare the worst mass extinction to occur, at least in the past 545 million years, to what's going on today? Now, I understand there's problems with certain ecosystems and different organisms, but somewhere between 80 to 90% of all life, that's including, you have to include bacteria into this, not just the insects, the amphibians, the protomammals, and the different sharks in the ocean at this time. This is everything. Now, I mean, you could say it's partially as hard to tell how much truly died out, but at this point, this was horrible. The mass extinction event that occurred at the end of the Cretaceous, 66 million years ago, that caused the non-avian dinosaurs to go extinct was extremely bad as well. But this was worse. So I just find it kind of silly when people try to compare today to back then. Okay, so this was the most diverse group of primitive tetrapods. There are many species of temnospondyls. Recorded on every continent on Earth, temnospondyls survived the greatest mass extinction of all time. So, also taking a look um, at some other, well, is this specifically? This isn't a temnospondyl. This is another group. I think this is the not the stereospondyle, it's a temnospondyl. It's not hitting me, but this is specifically Mastandosaurus. And this reached close to the size of this specific animal over here, the Prionosuchus. It reached, not you, it reached somewhere around, I was trying to find, anyway, about 18 to 22 feet in length, or somewhere around 5 to 6.5 meters, and was probably feeding on a wide range of different species of fish. It might have also have been chasing after different amphibians and reptiles. Let me know in the comments if you think it was primarily probably hunting different reptiles and amphibians when it existed. And yes, this seems to be a an authentic skull. This is very well preserved teeth. Now, this is one of Dimetrodon's favorite food. This is the Diplocaulus. And the problem is the reason why it can be quite hard to find complete um, untouched skulls of Diplocaulus is due to Dimetrodon consistently hunting these animals and biting off the top of their snouts. And there are many instances with younger Diplocaulus individuals where the upper part of their snout is missing. So the interesting thing about this animal is that it also existed in different places, such as Texas, Oklahoma, around 290 million years ago at the beginning of the Permian, and was a burrowing animal. So this animal was also probably hunting different species of insects, might have been preying on smaller fish species. It didn't reach much more than 3.5 feet in length, or a little over a meter. Probably weighed somewhere around 20 to 30 pounds. So yeah, Diplocaulus is interesting because it also is quite a wide amphibian. I'm just not just talking about the skull, but as well as its core. It is a bit of a question as to why this animal evolved its distinct head shape. This is a very positive, happy drawing. Um, he obviously never had to deal with Dimetrodon. So anyway, we're going to. Oh, so yeah, so here's just a look at at least the bottom view of Diplocaulus in sort of a swimming motion. So they were probably relatively peaceful creatures, at least based on him. And here's the authentic individual. So this is skull bone. I believe they could get slightly larger when referring to the head length, but not by much. This is a pretty large Diplocaulus skull. And here's the skull. Here's a complete skeleton of a Dimetrodon. And most of the bones on this skeleton are authentic. I'd say, yeah, great majority, if not the whole thing. There have been many individuals of Dimetrodon that have been discovered. Some species a lot more than others. It's a big question, though, as to what this sail would have been used for. Was it for heating or cooling itself? But since it's a proto mammal, it's possible that that wasn't the case and it had the ability to regulate its own body temperature. So that probably it might have simply been for display or warding off other males in its territory. Oh, and last is the small pentylus, which is a member of the Nicritridid lineage of amphibians. So, despite this animal looking like somebody mixed a Diictodon, which is I believe it's a cynodont from the late Permian, so somewhere around 255 million years ago. Anyway, took a cynodont and a pug and mixed them together and made this amphibian. He's very unique. So no, it's not a proto mammal. It's not a dog. This really is an amphibian. He could bark. Yeah, he could not bark. They have a broad record across geological periods and had several pulses of irradiation over the millions of years of their existence. So it's good to hear that we found this very unique species of temnospondyl. Though, despite this looking like it's the only one of its kind, there have been other temnospondyls with a crocodile-like look. I mean, obviously we were looking at Prionosuchus, but there have been other individuals as well. But it is odd that they are rarely talked about, and it's only more, I guess, famous individuals like Koolasuchus. But even then, not too much is said about that specific temnospondyl either. Koolasuchus was the last of the temnospondyls, and when it ended up going extinct in Australia about 100, somewhere between 125 and 120 million years ago. So let me know in the comments what your favorite species of temnospondyl or amphibian general is. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guide Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know, because nothing is better than all animals all the time.